Hey everybody. It's Thursday. Normally I do these lives on Friday, but here's the cool news. I'm back in the saddle. I am on the road again. This weekend I'm heading to Wisconsin for a Wim Hof Method weekend experience with with James Stewart. Jesse and James are riding again, so we're really happy to be doing that. So I'm going to be on the road tomorrow. So I thought, hey, you know what? I won't be able to do my usual YouTube live. So let's do one on Thursday. Let's just kind of just hang out for just a second. I want to give everybody some updates about what's going on. There's been a lot of things go on around here. It's been crazy, and me and my team. I love saying that. I love saying me and my team. It's not a one-man operation anymore. I've got a really awesome team. It's not a big team. I don't want a big team. I don't need to, just have a fleet of people working with me, but I've got an awesome team. Hey, Paul. Hey, nice to have you here, Paul. From England. Hey, cheers to you, my friend. The team's been working really hard. We put together the what I think is just a fantastic course. It's the 6-week online breath mastery course, and it actually I haven't actually I'm in the pre-launch right now, but basically it is technically open. My team, Rusty is asking a very important question. He's asking if my team all has beards like my beard, and no, this is actually, I need to get on them for that. What we're going to do, we're going to have to do, Rusty, is we're going to have to get like some Rogaine and just like, okay, everybody, before every time we have a meeting, we're just going to apply the Rogaine onto the face, and then and then it's like, okay, I guess we wait. We apply the Rogaine and then we wait and see what happens. You need Rogaine for your head, Rusty? Oh man. Well, you know what? I got to say, as a man who is more follically challenged now than any other time in my life, you never know. It's just one of those things. My plan is whenever, and my wife has told me that I can't do what she calls the hair curtain. So the hair curtain is where, most guys, they'll have, you have like the ring around, but the top of your head goes bald. She says, okay, if that happens, just shave your head. Just shave your head every day. And so I'll be one of those dudes with a shaved head and a beard. And it used to be pretty uncommon to see a shaved head guy with a beard, right? But now it's a little bit more common. The thing is, where do you shave? I think I would probably leave the sideburns, right? Paul's going, yeah, the fryer time. But that's a good point. I'd probably leave the sideburns if I were going to shave. I don't know how far I'd go up with it. And now I'd probably stay at this point with the sideburns. So it would be kind of like I don't know, like a thing where it's kind of, I hope it never happens. My grandfather, actually, I did a video because someone asked, what is it with these, with Wim Hof Method and balding? Because Wim Hof, he's got a kind of interesting hairline. And there's a few other more of like the first adopters of the Wim Hof Method. Some of them, many of them have heads of hair that I am envious of. Okay, but like, and my I gotta say, my hairline is holding strong. My hair has always been kind of a little bit. It's not thin. It's fine. Because I was talking every time. I think even as early as my 20s, I was always like, hey, man, whenever I went to the barber or the hairstylist or whatever, I was like, hey, tell me straight. How bad is it up there? And they're like, no, you have really fine hair. It's not like it's thinning out. So I'm like, oh, I don't know. But yeah, I definitely used to have more hair here. So, and I don't know. Over on this side, I guess it's similar. I like the style. I went the longest time not having any hairstyle at all. And then my wife was like, here, let me take you to this place. You just tell. And she sent me to this one place, and she's like, okay, tell them to make you have a different, like, give me a hair do that's not this thing that you've had for like all your life. And so I did. So anyway, and so I ended up liking it. But yes, Rusty, James is going to be there. So it's going to be Jesse and James. We're going to be in Wisconsin, and I'm heading up tomorrow night. It starts, and it's going to be a fantastic weekend. We're going to get into the lake and just freeze and breathe and go deep and just have just a fantastic weekend. This is not beer, okay? I know what you're thinking. Jesse, it's only like, it's just right around the noon hour in where it's just a little after noon where I live. No, I'm not drinking beer. This is a fine kombucha. And I put it into a glass because I'm fancy like that. Let's see here. Rusty says I got to ask that. It really looks like I'm thinning bad. Yeah, go to your barber or hairstylist or whatever. It's 4:30 over in England. Yeah, I was talking to someone in Vietnam last night, but for her it was this morning. So the time changes are crazy. Anyway. But yeah, go to your barber, Rusty, or stylist or whatever, and say, "Hey, what do you think?" Genetically, normally you inherit like the baldness gene from like if your mother's father. If you look at your mother's father, that's usually what they say. That's typically going to be the dominant gene as far as your hair for guys. But I've seen that trend bucked many times. I actually, my cousin, my dad's dad, so my grandfather on my dad's side was absolutely bald. And some of my cousins from my aunts, they still have hair. Most of them went bald though, but I think actually, you know what? I think two. No, only one kept his hair. So maybe he's an anomaly. Let's see. All right, so let's go over the updates, and then I'll get to your questions real quick. I can't make this too long because I have an appointment. I've got to do some learning. I'm learning from my team today on how to actually hopefully make this experience a whole lot better in the future. So I've got to continuously upgrade and grow and learn and all those other things. So anyway, I'm doing the Wim Hof Method weekend this weekend, and then the North Carolina weekend is, I think, either we're completely booked on North Carolina in April, or we've got maybe a few tickets, maybe 2 or 3 tickets left in the advanced class. The Wim Hof Method fundamentals class on Saturday in April, it's completely booked. But the online course, so that is my Wim Hof stuff that I've got in the near future. And then in other news, I'm releasing my online course, and it's actually in the what I would call the pre-release, or like the soft release stage right now. And I'll give you access to it real quick. Before I haven't done any promotions for it or anything like that, but I'll give you guys access to it if you want to get into it. We're going to try to limit the number of people in it down to I think 100 or less. But basically, what this is basically it's a 6-week course where you are with me. We do weekly live sessions where we do experiential learning about all the aspects of breath work. So not just one technique or just one style. You'll learn all about why breath work works. So you name the technique or whatever. When you're done with this course, you'll have the understanding, oh, I get it now. I see what mechanism this is working on. And the cool thing is, I take you through a lot of experiential learning, so you get to experiment on yourself. Now it starts, this class is, like I said, it's a live thing, and we meet every week. It's a Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for 6 weeks. We meet every single week, and it's an intense thing. So it's 2 hours per session even. So that's 10 hours of instruction. So this is not like, if you're looking for just just a course to kind of learn a technique to relax or something like that, this would not be, yeah, you'll learn all about how to relax. Let's see, is this the right link that I sent you guys? Is it? I don't know. Rusty, check that out. Did I send the right link? But anyway, it's not the kind of course that is just like just superficial things. It's you're going to learn how to correct breathing dysfunctions, breathing mechanics. You're going to learn why breathing techniques work, and then I basically guide you into the process of learning how to create your very own personalized breathwork practice for your own unique physiology and life. So whatever your goals are, we're all different. We're not like coming off a conveyor belt or anything. And so that's what the course is about. There'll be more on that in the future. I'll tell you guys a little bit more on that as we get going. Rye Talks. I have a question for you. I'm looking in there. Is that like a Star Trek uniform you've got on in your little picture? It's such a small picture. I don't know. I had an Instagram post today about whenever I was in grad school, I did a structural analysis of a Star Trek movie. So nerd alert. Okay. Anyway, let's talk. So I've already updated everybody. Those are the updates. I'm going to be in, fellow Trekkie, Wrath of Khan. There you go. Khan. That's when William Shatner had the perm. That's when like it was kind of a thing for dudes to have perms. But anyway, so anyway, you've got the updates. I'm going to be in Wisconsin. I think that was sold out, but you may, if you want to do a last minute ticket, you can go there. And then in April, North Carolina is sold out. However, let me tell you this. If you missed out on North Carolina this time, we've already decided on a weekend that we're going to do it in the summer. So if you missed out on Mandala Springs, I'm just saying Mandala Springs is just a fantastic location. This summer, we're going to be doing a Wim Hof Method weekend. And I'll give you the dates so you can save the dates. We don't have the sign-up sheet yet. It's going to be June 19th and 20th. So the June 20th is Father's Day. Okay. So, I'm going to try to bring my family. I don't know. It's normally a busy time in the summertime with all the activities and things going on. But hey, that's the only, I guess, downside is that it's on Father's Day. So, but hey, let's look at it in a positive way, right? What better gift to give to your father than to go to a Wim Hof Method weekend? So anyway, that is coming up in the summer, and then we're conceiving of some other cool activities that are breath work related, lifestyle related, maybe even cacao related, so maybe even yoga related, maybe even music related. Definitely music related. Anytime you go out to Mandala Springs in North Carolina, it's going to be music related. I'm going to take my guitar. I have to. I'm taking. This is the guitar that. Let's see. Yeah, this one is the guitar that I took. Let's see. This. Yeah. You know what? I'll probably take this guitar. This is my favorite guitar, so I'll probably take that one. And Andrew, that is going to be in Mandala Springs, which is really close to Asheville, I believe, North Carolina. So, yeah, in June, it's the same place, Mandala Springs. It's always me and Rob Linfesti. If you're not familiar with Rob Linfesti, I bugged him until he started a YouTube channel, and it's doing very well. And I'm really proud of him. I said, Rob, dude, the world needs your voice. Get on YouTube. And here's the crazy thing. He already had like all of the cameras and stuff that I had to save up for years to get. He already had all the equipment. He already knows how to do like video editing. And I was like, why aren't you already on YouTube? So now he's on YouTube and he's doing great. Convergence Lifestyle. And the one in June is it's going to be with Rob. And again, that's going to be a full weekend. And then we might also have a different, just like a festival, like more of a festival thing. It won't be Wim Hof Method. Specifically, it'll be a festival of like, natural living, feeling amazing, maybe even a sweat lodge, definitely cold exposure, definitely yoga, breath work. If Rob, is willing, and I think I can twist his arm. Rob is like a top of the line survival guy. Like he can go into the woods and he's constantly picking these things and he's eating them and he's like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, this, oh not that one, okay, this, and so it's a lot of fun to hang out with him and go in the woods. And just said, sweet, I love his chocolate, yeah, and his videos. I can't wait to join you. Oh yeah, definitely. Save the date. I don't know if, I think we're going to use his links. He's taking care of all the booking. This time I took care of most of the booking, and then he's going to take care of all the booking next time. So awesome. All right, let's see here. I think that updates everybody on everything. Let's take a question or two. Can you completely heal Raynaud's by freezing your hands and feet every day in cold water? That is a good question. And actually, speaking of Rob Glenn Festi, my friend Rob, he actually, it's amazing. That's his experience. It was his experience, and he believes that it was Wim Hof method, practicing Wim Hof method, that led him to an alleviation of his symptoms of Raynaud's syndrome or phenomenon. And so he had it really bad. He had it so bad, I guess, whenever he was in the lunch room at school or whatever, if he took like a spoon and he just kind of went down his arm, he would have a white mark down his arm that would last for hours. Like he had it real bad. And you got to understand though, Rob also does an enormous amount. It's not like he was just doing cold exposure and that's the only thing. Like Rob eats an incredibly healthy diet. He exercises regularly. He does yoga all the time. Spine yoga is one of his specialties. So, I mean, I'm sure it was a holistic thing. But yeah, that was his experience. Now, having said that, Josh, I can't guarantee you that you're going to have the same response, because with Raynaud's, it's just this weird thing. That's and the thing is, Raynaud's can be caused by different things too. So so if you have, like, for instance, I broke my finger doing jujitsu a couple years ago, and it healed back funny because I'm very good at handling pain now. I honestly was like, well, it'll be fine. Yeah, it's fine. And here I was walking around with this broken finger, and it was like basically right around the joint. But I think it's just that, I do cold exposure, I do breath work, I do a lot of other things. But I think I do enough of the things that I was doing was, I guess, keeping the inflammation down. So I was like, man, it's not really that bad. Do I really need to go into the doctor? And eventually I did go, because I was like, well, I probably ought to get it checked out. I broke it healed back funny. And so now my knuckle it's in the slow process of, I don't know if it ever is going to go completely normal. So now I have Raynaud's right here, and it's because there's some restriction in blood flow, and it sucks. Now, would cold exposure heal that? Well, it hasn't so far. Okay, I still do cold exposure, and it's still something. Now, I will say it doesn't always happen. There's sometimes it will, sometimes it won't. That's the thing with Raynaud's. It's just kind of unpredictable sometimes, and it depends on the person. So I would say definitely try it. It's not going to hurt you, and just be careful whenever you're, of course, don't do it like, okay, now I'm going to start today whenever it's like 0 degrees outside. I'm going to go head outside and start. No, that's not when you want to start. Start it now. It's spring here in the northern hemisphere. It's springtime. I mean, it's ugly. Well, it's spring showers out here in the Midwest right now. So it's actually beautiful. I shouldn't say it's ugly, but now it'd be a great time. Do a little cold, do a little lukewarm, a little cold, a little lukewarm. Exposure can, or at least it has for some people, seeing the benefit. What's up, Brandon? Good to have you here, my friend. Let's see. Hey, Jesse in chat nearly forgot about the live stream is on. Well, yeah, it's normally not on Thursday, Peter. It's on. Yeah, And the reason why I'm doing it today is I will be on the road at my usual time tomorrow, driving. So I was like, you know what? I don't want to go a week and just like something like people will be wondering what happened to Jesse. Did he finally drown in his ice bath? Is that what happened? Did he finally drown? I bet he did. I bet Jesse, he's completely blue, floating in his chest freezer. So, but no, it is all good. And I just wanted to make sure to be here. I'm trying to make sure I've got the right thing I can show you guys for that breath mastery class. I think whenever I uploaded it, it was the wrong, I think I sent you guys the wrong link. But if you guys want to get in on it, let's see, I'll just take a look real quick at where is it? Okay, landings, and then there. Okay, preview. I'm going to send you guys the link. If you want to get in on it early, you can. Later on, you're going to have an opportunity to, whenever I do like my major release, but like I said, I'm going to try to limit it to just 100 people per course. And that's just to make sure that I can actually respond to people's questions in real time. I don't want to get overloaded. Okay. Sweet. Yes. Jesse, okay, let's see here. I know I can read. I promise I can read. Get a little kombucha for the brain. Oh yeah, that's good. That's so good. All right. Hey, Jesse, already loved your content, but I just say that recent video of yours regarding doing Wim Hof method and still miserable really hit a chord with me. A total masterpiece. I'm sure you heard this. Well, hey, thank you, my friend. I appreciate that. Yeah, I think you're referring to the one where I got this. I get a lot of emails, and hey, guys, I appreciate your emails. Even if, here's the thing, I do my best to respond to every single email I get. I am flattered. And I'm not kidding here. I am insanely flattered. Like, who am I, right? And I get so many questions, and I'm asked for so much advice, and sometimes it's really hard. Sometimes when I get certain questions, I'm like, man, I will say this. I'm gonna let you know a little bit about how it is, right? Okay, so most of the time, whenever I get questions, people don't really give me enough background or context for me to really be able to give them any kind of meaningful advice, because so much of like what I do really does depend on a lot of variables. I need to know some of the context. I need to know, right? So what I normally have happen is a person will write like it's like a giant essay, but they don't really give me any like meaningful context. And by that I mean generally, like if you have a question about, a lot of times it'll be a question about like something for your health, like I'm having this issue. Can you give me advice? I'm going to need some context. I don't need to know every little detail, but I do need to know, okay, a little bit about where you are. But even still, I can't always answer every question. Even still, I'm going to say, yeah, I need to, it's going to depend, right? And it's like, I can't always answer everything the way I'd like to, which is the way I know you'd like to. Because if I email somebody and I say, hey, can you give me some advice on this? My hope is they're going to give me advice that I'm thinking about, the kind of advice that I want, which is like, okay, the reason why your back hurts is because of this, right? And it's like, well, it could be a million things. But yeah, I got that email, and this girl, man, she was having a rough time, man. And that's one of these things where, sometimes we have rough times, and I think sometimes the dark side of the health and wellness industry is selling infinite happiness, right? You're never going to feel sad again. and it's all rosy, and man, once I started this one thing, I never had another problem again. And that's just unrealistic, right? Right? It's like, wow, that's got to be a lie, right? There's no practice, there's no pill, there's nothing that's going to make it so that you escape the human condition, other than, I guess, death, right? And that's part of the human condition still, right? That is ultimately where we all end up. And it's so when it comes down to it, if there is something, I will say this: there are a few things that I've done in my life that have alleviated me from the human condition, and they're all addictive and deadly, right? They're all, really lead to bad ends. You can abuse drugs and alcohol, and you don't have to feel things like in the extremes, but then you're just ruining your life. So, like, yeah. So I really felt for her, and I still get emails like that. So that's one of the things where I oftentimes wonder. It's whenever I decide to make a video, right? And now I'm very lucky. I have a team that I can kind of throw ideas and say, "What do you think?" But they're always like, "Dude, it's your channel. Come on, you got to do what you got to do." And ultimately, it's right. I mean, that's the point. But sometimes I'm like, man, I got a lot of people who are hurting. The world there's a lot of people who are struggling with things that I completely relate to, things that I've had to deal with my whole life, or that I'm 40 now, right? And so at this age, I've had to go through a lot of those things, and I'm like, okay, let me help you. I wish I would have had somebody to tell me this when I was your age. Let me at least give you some advice on that. And so that's what I'm trying to do. And so, hey, I appreciate that so much, my friend. I really appreciate that, your comment. Let's see here. Let's see. Will practicing CO2 tables improve CO2 tolerance and increase retentions? Says Chuck Kesper. Let's see. CO2 tables. You might have to expand on that a little bit for me, because I think I know. There's things that I'm thinking about that I think you're referring to, but I want to make sure that you're thinking about what I'm thinking about. And if not, then let me know. But you can absolutely improve your CO2 tolerance. It's not something that many people are willing to do. Even people who love breath work very rarely will actually take the time to do it. But yeah, you can absolutely do it. And that's something that I coach a lot of athletes. And that's the first thing that we do. First thing and last thing. We never stop with my athletes. And then also, it's interesting. Whenever, and this is something we cover in the online course. So I want to, this is, I'm pushing my course a little bit. I'm really proud of it. That's the thing. I'm really proud of it. I really want you to see it. But anyway, the point is, it's probably the most important thing you can do in breath work, but it's probably the most underrepresented aspect of breath work, other than, of course, Patrick McEwen. He's made a whole career out of pretty much CO2 tolerance. That's the oxygen advantage, really. So I can't really say it's underrepresented. He's probably one of the biggest names in breath work. So anyway, let's see here. Where are we? Yeah, Jesse can read. I'm not sure if I can sometimes, Rusty. Sometimes I think I'm just faking it. And Josh, yeah, definitely give it a shot. Looks like realistically, I will see you in June. Yes, hey, Alan Spring Alan. I can't wait to go back there. We were the people who laid that floor, Alan. Remember, it was like Saturday morning of the event. So I'm referring to North Carolina, Mandala Springs. I got to North Carolina, and it was a long drive, and I was tired, and I went and had dinner, and me and Rob were waiting for the floor to be, for the actual flooring to be delivered. and it was delivered. And then me and Alan, and I think one or two other guys, we put that down real fast before the event. So, hey, Peter, Peter, let's see. Oh, you're talking to Josh. All right. So, Peter, so I would say concentration is one of the key aspects. Concentration, really, I think the thing is with breath work, okay? So when it comes to breath work, when it comes to actually, if your goal is to use your breath to improve focus, reduce anxiety, maybe lengthen your life, improve your immune system, the full gamut, right? Whatever, I don't even care. Even if it's just one of those things, even if it's like, hey, you know what? I just want to look cool at parties because I would like to be able to hold my breath forever. I don't care what your goal is with breath work. Most people, it's going to be a lot of these things, right? But it all starts with awareness. It all starts with, and I'd say this a lot of times, like when I do breathwork classes, which live breathwork classes, I'm looking forward to this summer. I think I'm going to be able to do live breathwork classes. I'll probably have to do them outside, but that's going to be fine. I'm just really excited to be back doing live breathwork classes. And by that, it's just like an hour of guided breath work with me. It's not like instructional at that point. It's more of it's kind of like a yoga class for breathers. But anyway, if you want to get those benefits, it starts with awareness. And I often say that breath work is focus work. And that is where all of it starts. And if you fail to cultivate that, then you're building a house without a foundation. So in the breathwork course, I have a whole, like, some guided tracks where I guide you through some exercises to develop your sense of awareness, your sense of introspection. I talk about that in my book. If you've read my book, I talk about introspection, and it's essentially your ability to have awareness within yourself, within your body, and of course, this is something that is it's something that is commonly overlooked. A lot of people overlook that. So, but anyway, let's see here. And then what about CO2 tolerance? What about CO2 tolerance? I got to get out of here in a minute because I have a lesson to learn. But last, I'll answer Rusty's question about CO2 tolerance. CO2 tolerance is your ability to tolerate CO2 building up in your system. And most human beings have such a poor CO2 tolerance that they are out of breath at the top of, when they walk up a flight of stairs. Even if they're very fit, even very fit people can have a low CO2 tolerance. And if you have a low CO2 tolerance, you are more likely to overbreathe. You're more likely to be stressed. You're more likely to have an erratic breathing pattern. You're more likely to have vasoconstriction on all of your blood vessels throughout the day, all the time. You might even suffer from a foggy, like just foggy head, just because of this vasoconstriction, because it can even affect your brain circulation. So there's a lot of things. It's one of those things where also whenever I talk to clients that I have that have really high levels of anxiety, it's another thing that we touch on a lot. And again, it's going to be I dedicate a full week of the 6-week breath mastery course specifically to CO2 training. So if you're interested in it, now, for those of you guys who are in my Patreon club, you're going to get a discount on this course. So hey, if you're not in the Patreon club, and if you want a discount, I guess you can join. We'd love to have you. It's a really cool group. But also, if you've purchased my book, there's going to be a discount coming up. And I'll tell you guys a little bit more about that maybe next week whenever we have this. But I got to get out of here because I am about to go learn Streamlabs. So this is supposed to help me enhance this experience for everybody, and so I'm really excited to learn. And hey, I'm excited to have you guys here, and I hope you have a great weekend. Tomorrow, be thinking about me. I'll be on the road, and this is going to just be a fun time. I hope you guys have a great weekend, And if you're going to see me in Wisconsin, I will see you in just maybe 48 hours or so. So guys, thanks so much. If you haven't already done so, please like and subscribe. And don't forget to go out there and be kind to one another. I'll see you guys.